But I'm so sweet and cute. How could you ever?
That glare. My God, he cuts you like a knife right through you. I feel like butter.
But for some reason, it was like very emotional. Like I would just like come home crying. I think it was like the perfectionist in me.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Live from New York City, it's the Who's Your Daddy podcast.
It's only half live from New York. I'm still in Portland, and Matthew's in New York, and we figured out a way to still make this happen.
Yeah, I'm traveling right now. I just spent like 5 days in Puerto Rico, and I have a few days in New York City for a project, and then I am on my way home to see Michael and Puppy and Kitty and to cuddle and watch 90 Day Fiancé, and I am so excited to be home.
Oh my God, give us a recap.
Oh, of Puerto Rico? Oh my God, it was insane. It was so much fun. I was there for the IGLTA conference, which for everybody who doesn't know what IGLTA is, it's the International LGBTQ plus Travel Association. So every year they have a convention in a different country. And it really is kind of like expanding and furthering the reach and impact of the LGBTQ plus travel world. The longer that we're here, the longer that we're out, the more people that are coming out and being like, yeah, we're starting families, we want to travel, blah, blah, blah. More that it's important to share safety and tips and tricks on how to travel as a queer couple and as a queer family. And the International Gay Lesbian Travel Association is helping to further that and really just provide safety, provide access, and to discuss how we can make the world a better place for travel.
What was your favorite part?
I love seeing all of my people there. It's a pretty small community. There's like just a small 700 of us.
It's not that small.
It's getting bigger and bigger every year, and it's amazing.
Is it? Did it feel bigger than Milan?
It was bigger than Milan this year. Yeah. Last year was Milan, and this year is Puerto Rico, and there's definitely more people. It was the largest convention yet that they've had. So I love it.
Whoa. And you met some like new companies, new like contacts. Because you said that you met somebody from like Copa Airlines. Like I'd never seen them there
Copa
before.
Airlines out of Panama. There was representatives from Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil. A huge representation from Japan. There was like over 20 people there from Japan, which was awesome.
Oh my goodness.
All over Europe, all over Africa. In Japan. So yeah, next year it's going to be in Osaka. Very excited.
Yay.
You're definitely coming to that one.
I'm going to be at the Osaka one. We were in Osaka to sort of like talk about, promote, discuss. I don't know if you would say like advise. I don't know. For like 6 or 7 of the days that we were there out of like the 10 or 12. I can't even remember how many days we were there. 10. So that was like last month. And then he was going to Puerto Rico this month. And I was like, I cannot take up this much work. So you are going to fly solo to this convention because I want to make sure that I have enough time for Osaka next year.
And everybody was asking where you're at.
You will be, I know, I'm so important.
They're like, only
everybody wants to know where I am all the time.
They're like, where's Michael? It says Michael and Matt. Where's Michael? I'm like, he's home with the puppy and the kitty, holding down the fort.
No, that's when you're supposed to say, well, just figure out a partnership and you'll meet him.
I mean, yeah, a bigger
Let's figure out a way to work together.
Like a big, I think, thing in this space that's progressing is, content creators. It's a newer type of thing in media. Within the last 10, 15 years. And as there's becoming more and more content creators.
It just does not seem new to me.
Right? I know, but it's still, and relatively, it's newer.
Do they still see it as new?
Yes. We're considered new media.
Wow.
So, yeah, interesting. But there's a big education gap in the sphere of like, what is a content creator? What do they do? And are they professional? Can you pay them? Is it okay to pay content creators? Is it okay to allocate budget towards them? Or do you need to save all of your budget and use all of your budget for professional production companies, written media only, old media, and all that? So it's really interesting because you have the old media at the table there at IGLTA, and you also have this big group of new media content creators, and this new media group is growing and growing and growing. And so there's this like difference in numbers that you're starting to see. There's also a little bit of bleed over. I not only like create content, but I'm also writing for publications about LGBTQ plus travel. So like I'm like, hey, I'm a content creator primarily. That's where I make the bulk of my money. But I also write.
Right.
So it's kind of weird because you're starting to see this crossover, and it's really confusing to companies. They're like, what do we do with you? And I don't think it should be confusing, because I'm like, you just need to pay us. Like
You're like, literally anything. I can do it all.
right. Yeah. So just pay us like you pay anyone else, and we will work together so I can pay my bills. Thank you. And pay for my baby. Pay for my baby.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's my soapbox.
Yes. Let's bring it back. I was working all week, and then I was just really enjoying just like a couple days at home to like reorganize and revamp afterwards. So I miss you, but it's been nice to like do some things that have been on my to-do list for a while. So, but excited to see you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You'll be home by the time this comes out.
Oh, no. I get home Wednesday. This comes out Thursday.
So what did I just say?
I'll be home by the... Oh, yeah. Sometimes I have dyslexic hearing. I heard that in opposite order.
Yeah. Well, one of the questions on our Q&A today was, when was the last time you argued?
Right now?
And let me tell you,
no,
it was literally 5 minutes ago.
Oh.
Trying to figure out how to intro this whole podcast.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. So there's a little bit of delay on here.
Okay.
Riverside one. We're recording on a website.
There for sure is a delay. Oh my God.
Yeah, I say something and then you talk over me. I say something, it talks over you. So already the format of this is just frustrating for both of us.
Yes.
If you want to argue with your partner, just talk over each other a little bit, and it's going to trigger something.
Matthew's feeling triggered.
We love that. But yeah, no. When was the last time we actually argued?
I don't know. I mean, like, we have small disagreements like constantly.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of like, I don't remember if there's like a big argument or anything like recently.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten along.
We'll think about it.
The last couple months, you know?
Oh my God. It's like we're married.
I know. Well, usually there's like some kind of argument where we're just like, oh my God, I'm so mad at you. And then,
but I'm so sweet and cute. How could you ever?
Have anyone ever seen Michael roll his eyes at you? That glare? My God, he cuts you like a knife right through you. I feel like butter. He looks at me and I just feel like butter.
Don't be silly.
Not like a melting kind of thing, but
don't be silly.
You slice me and spread me on toast.
I slice you?
Yeah, you cut me.
Oh my God, you can't say that.
Oh, no. Okay. No, I didn't mean like literally. Jeez.
I cut you like butter with my side eye.
Yeah. Piercing. Anyway, yeah, we'll have to think on that one a little bit more.
Okay. So like an hour ago, we took to Instagram and asked if people had any questions. Obviously this podcast has been very baby surrogacy focused. And so I wanted to open it up to any questions that people may have had that we haven't answered already. But I also was like, I don't know, maybe there's just other questions that people want to ask us in general. And a lot of podcasts that I enjoy listening to are just like random questions that people have and that they get answered. So most of these are about us. But let's just kick it off. The first question, how did you pick your egg donor?
That is a great question. Okay. Yeah. I have to think back, like a year and a half ago almost, that we're checking out egg donors and trying to figure it out. We were looking at databases, and I remember just digging through a bunch of egg donor databases. I know you're not supposed to technically like go to Google for a lot of your surrogacy needs, but I went to Google and I was searching like egg donation agencies, egg donation databases.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started searching and thumbing through and seeing like, oh, this is what a profile looks like. And here's like different things that you can look at for an egg donor. Like you can see pictures of them for one. We were talking about like if you're looking for a sperm donor, usually you can only see baby photos of them. But if you're looking for an egg donor,
Yeah.
then you can see a lot more photos of them typically.
I mean, at least we did. We got to see like baby, toddler, whatever they wanted to share, they could share.
Right. Yeah.
So some people had more photos than others. Some people had like 3 photos and it was like baby, toddler, adult, or like 5 pictures of them as an adult.
Right. And I would say that I think the first deciding factor for egg donor for us was whether or not we were going to do frozen egg donation or fresh egg donation. You can look at a lot of databases online of frozen eggs. But what we had learned was that if you do the embryo creation with frozen eggs, you have a lot less likely chance of creating embryos from that than if you were to do a fresh donation. There's a higher success rate with a fresh donation. So even though you're going to save money going with a frozen egg database, you're going to maybe have to do it again or keep trying. So we went with fresh, and we knew that we had to like find somebody who was willing to donate eggs now, and that really limits your pool of options.
Mm-hmm. Just like Wendy's, where we wanted fresh, never frozen. So that's where we went.
I do not like that comparison at all. Wow, I'm offended. Oh, I don't even have eggs, and I'm offended.
Oh my God.
I know.
So yeah, no, we were looking for like a fresh, I guess is what they would call it, fresh donation. And you just sort of like search different databases, either with an agency or a clinic or an outside like organization. They fill out, or they should fill out like a pretty robust questionnaire that includes family medical history. So that's always something to think about too, is like if they have a lot of like genetic diseases, or like everybody in their family has, I don't know, uncontrolled diabetes or something. I don't know, something that like maybe you could
was a big
put
one.
your kid at a genetic predisposition for something. So usually I think the first thing is like health. And then the second thing could be physical appearance. It kind of just depends if you care or if you have a preference.
There's
want
like
them
to maybe figure out like, hey, do you want to have a baby that kind of looks like a little bit of both of us, to try to keep that cohesive? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's totally fair for a family to kind of consider that, just in the sense that they don't want their child to be growing up thinking that they're like looking extremely different from either one of the parents. In a way, that could be a concern or something that they're looking at when they're choosing an egg donor. There's also kind of like cultural sensitivities that can come into play. If you're having a baby of a different race from a different part of the world, that there's potential that you need to like really research and learn about like that culture, so that you can teach that to, when your kid has questions about it. That's going to be something that's really important.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, and then we ended up doing an interview with 2 people that we had kind of like narrowed it down with. And then I think that sort of just solidified it, because it was like personality, how they answered questions, what their demeanor was like, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, that's kind of how we ended up with our egg donor. And I think that's pretty standard. So it's a lot of like, how does it, just how do you react? Like, what's your gut feeling when you like see this person's profile, read their family history, read their answers to the questions. And then if you can interview them, which I guess is kind of rare, I would 100% suggest doing that. And then you get a feel for how invested they are in the process. Do they want to be like involved afterwards? Do they want it to be like more of an open or closed relationship? A lot of people are just closed. Like they're just like, thank you for the eggs. See you later. Bye. Other people want a little bit more, I don't know, of a personal relationship. So
I think for
that's
us,
how we picked our egg
a
donor.
little bit of what like her personality was like in that interview. That was a huge deciding factor for us because we're like, whoa, okay, we really like this person's personality. We're conversing with them well. We get along with them well. This is all positive signs. Of course, like personality isn't something that's like genetically carried over exactly, but you can pass on specific traits. So it's a little bit of nature and nurture in there. But yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I
totally.
just loved having like a better idea of like who this person is and what they're like and what potentially um, an offspring from this person would look like.
Yeah. Question number 2. I don't even think I have an answer for this, even though I wrote these questions down like 30 minutes ago. The biggest regret in life so far.
Oh my God.
What is your biggest regret in life so far?
This one might be an easy, this might be a cop out. I don't know. But I'm going to say not coming out sooner for mine. I just like look back and think back. And I know a lot of people say like, oh, I have no regrets. Like I totally am happy with all of my decisions and I stand by myself 100%. I am not that person, okay? Like I so wish that I was out in high school. I think there are so many experiences that I would have really appreciated having in high school. Like I don't know, dating from a younger age. I think it would have saved my mental health hugely throughout high school if I had like come out sooner. You know, it's just one of those things
What
where
if
I'm
you
like,
like got bullied?
yeah. So that's a good point. This is all what if, and there's no way of knowing. I
Yeah.
probably would have gotten bullied, but maybe I would have been
Yeah.
happier not living in secret all the time.
I don't think I have like a biggest regret. Like I don't think of like one thing. Well, actually, okay, no, here's my biggest regret. My biggest regret is not doing a study abroad. That's my biggest regret. Yeah. Because that's something that like very easily, like, well, not very easily. To me, everything just seemed expensive. Like, and I was like, I don't know who's paying for this. There's no way my parents are going to pay for this. I can't pay for this. And like, with what time, like each summer I worked to like pay for my rent. And I didn't even like make enough money throughout the summer to like carry much into the fall. It was just like, I was just like working to subside or like
sustain,
working to live to sustain life. But I wish, I would have taken like, I don't know, spent that $5,000 or $6,000 or whatever it costs to like go study abroad somewhere and experience that during college. I mean, I'd traveled out of the country like before college. And so it's like, it's not like it was missing out on my first international experience, but that's something that if I had the opportunity, I would go back and redo for sure.
Yeah. And I think about having kids in the future and then them perhaps wanting to study abroad. And I even now am thinking like, no, don't go away. Like, like I would
really?
I would have loved to have studied abroad in high school. And it's just really like heart-wrenching to think about my future child going away for a year during high school.
But I was thinking about college.
Well, that too, but I think it's such a incredible experience to study abroad during high school and maybe even more so than in college, perhaps. I think it's like a super enriching and character building experience that is one of those things that is irreplaceable, invaluable. Like, I don't know. I just wonder about it.
Probably. Well, one, I don't know of anybody who did that.
Oh, do you? Really?
From the US out? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
No.
I knew people in high school who did that. Definitely.
Really? I knew people in college, but I didn't even know that was an option in high school. I just knew that people came here. Like we had multiple foreign exchange students here.
No, it was an exchange program
in this tiny town of 6,000
through Rotary Club. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. I also just saw this thing where people there's this, I don't know if it's a company or nonprofit or what you would call it, but they're offering like domestic exchange programs where like people from big cities specifically go to like small towns to like get a different feel for the US.
Oh my God, keep me away from that. No, thank you. Oh, what's that show? Paris Hilton and Simple Life. They're trying to bring back the Simple Life. Just like
I don't
sending.
think it's I don't think it's like that. I don't all the kids were like,
I'm sure it's great. I can't be banging on this organization or what they're doing. Wonderful, great, awesome things. Cool. But I'm just thinking about these kids and these big cities, and they're just sending them out to like the bum ass middle of nowhere and being like,
no,
yeah.
they literally are.
So we're just removing all of the fun aspects of traveling and studying abroad in a different country, and we're just going to put you in the middle of nowhere in your own country,
Okay, great.
isolated.
I will note that that is not an option for our children.
That is absolutely not an option for our children. Oh my god.
No, it's fair. I if they're studying abroad, I want it to be somewhere like interesting where I can go visit.
For selfish reasons, right? Yes, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they sent kids from like the Bay Area like to Kansas. So
Yeah, no,
I've already
that's
been there,
not.
done that.
And yeah, me too. I went from Seattle to
And our
Nebraska
kids are going to
for
get that
years,
exposure. And our kids are going to get that exposure just visiting my family. So, you
right?
know, we're
We're
good.
done
We're
here.
good.
Moving on.
We're good. Okay. Oh, cute. This is the next question's cute.
Do you have the usernames written down? I think it'd be nice to like list the usernames along with these questions.
I do not have the usernames written down.
That's okay. I can find them. I can bring it up on Instagram right now. Do not worry.
Sorry.
It's okay.
We decided that we needed to film something and asked the questions of Instagram and set everything up within like 2 hours. So
Yeah,
I missed a
it's all
few. I missed a few things on the checklist that maybe I could have done.
Okay, so
um,
the first question was from Alex Bowers. Thank you.
Thank you. The anticipation.
I know, sorry. I'm just scrolling through looking. B. Riley Mitchell asks
There's
who's the
only
person
like
to apologize after an argument. That was
okay, great. That's later on the list, Matthew.
Well, I'm looking at where's the argument one? I don't see the argument one. I'm trying to
Oh my
help.
god, it doesn't matter. We're on biggest regret. Figure it out.
Biggest. I don't even see biggest regret.
Land this plane.
Picking up questions.
You were doing so good at this.
Thank you.
Do you still have it up?
Have what up?
How do you show your love to Matt? Oh my god, the usernames.
No. This is like a match game. I have to scroll through and find everything. There's a lot of questions on here. It's really stressful. Now I have like a timer going. This is like, I don't like this. I don't like it. Oh my god. Like, why are these questions not here?
Don't worry. I'll sit here and wait.
What was the question again?
I'm so excited that you decided that we needed to know everybody's username.
I'm sorry. What is the question again?
The question is, how do you show your love to Matt? Put your phone down.
Okay.
Oh my god. Put your phone down.
It's down.
I literally see you looking at it.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Mariam 1999 asks Michael, how do you show your love to Matt? So it's Mariam 1999.
I just let him do whatever he wants.
Just like this situation here where it takes me like 5 minutes to figure out.
Where he's like, let's look up everybody's name. And I'm like, okay, fine. Go ahead. Love you. Do it.
I think you show your love.
I'm going to Puerto Rico. Okay, great. I love you. Do it.
You laugh with me. You clean things for me. You also say nice things to me. You say I'm cute. You talk in like a baby voice to me, which is like sometimes weird, but most of the time cute. I don't know. You check in with me. You're like, how are you? And then, a big thing is when we're like mad at each other or whatever, and your inclination is to just like walk away and not engage because you just need time to cool off. You're like, you actually like come up to me and you're like, okay, let's talk. And it's that stuff
Oh,
makes
afterwards.
a lot. Yeah, because I know it's like you don't like to do that, but then you do it because you know I need that kind of interaction in order to open up
Mm.
and solve a problem or argument.
Oh,
So I appreciate
wow. Okay.
that. I love you, baby.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering the question of how I show my love to you. They don't care how you show your love to me, I guess. So it was one-sided.
Right. Yeah, obviously.
But basically, Matthew cooks food for me and feeds me. And that's how he shows his love.
That's it. Wow.
Yeah.
Next question.
My belly. Tries to keep my belly full. Next question. Okay. Coffee or tea? Easy coffee.
Coffee. Every time.
Right now.
I am in New York City for coffee. That is why I'm here. So coffee every time.
Mm-hmm. As I was writing this question down, I was like, are we bad at like showing our brand? Like, obviously we like coffee.
Right?
Obviously we're coffee people.
Who asked that?
Like,
who asked that?
I don't know. I don't know, Matthew. Take 5 more minutes to look it up.
No, that one's going to be easy to find. It's short and I can okay. I eat my words. Eat my words, Matthew. Oh, here it is. Federico.
As we sit here, I'm
Grossman
drinking Stumptown.
Thank you, Federico Grossman.
Amazing. Coffee for both of us. That's the answer. Next question. Who is the first to apologize in an argument?
Oh, yes. That is asked by B. Riley Mitchell.
Okay.
Who's
Who
the
do you
first
think?
to apologize? My God. I think I am usually.
I think it is. I think it's you.
Yes! I knew it. I knew it. Which, like,
mostly because he's wrong more often.
Wow. Oh, no. I get frustrated.
So you have to apologize for being wrong.
I'm like the one that's like, okay, like I know I messed up here. My tone was bad. I shouldn't have yelled. I wasn't saying nice things. My attitude's bad, which it typically is. So yeah, I can.
And I'm like, yes, 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 and yes.
And then I'm like, but you also hurt me, and you did something wrong. And you're like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. And I'm like, stop being so defensive. And you're like, ugh. Who can relate? Who can relate?
I think the thing that like boggles my mind is just when I'm explaining something and I'm like explaining in a mildly like frustrated tone. Matthew's like, well, you're being mean. And I'm like, I can't explain what I'm frustrated about in like a happy song for you. Like I'm like when I'm talking, it's gonna sound a little irritated. And he's just like, well, you're being mean. I was like, that is not helpful at all. Like
you don't
also
need to do a sing song for me. All you have to do is not be a jerk.
Oh my God.
A little attitude
Unbelievable.
goes a long way. A little attitude goes a long way, especially when you're heated.
Okay. Great. Well, I think we both agree that Matthew is the first to apologize because Matthew is more frequently wrong.
Okay. My God.
Okay, next question. Do either of you play a musical instrument? If so, which one? If not, what do you wish you could play?
I do piano, but I don't play very often. I took lessons for like 6 or 7 years when I was little. Forgot most of it. But I do have like a few songs in muscle memory that I can pull out at any time. Put me in a party situation, give me a piano, and I'll play chopsticks.
Or give his dad 2 to 3 glasses of wine and he will just beg Matthew to play the piano.
Yeah, he will make me play.
Yeah, it's my favorite part about Bob drinking wine. I learned piano like as a kid, but for some reason it was like very emotional. Like I would just like come home crying. I think it was like the perfectionist in me that I was like, I can't do this perfect. And so now my soul is crushed because like I'm not immediately good at this.
Oh my God.
I feel like that had to be what it was.
For you.
I like, oh my God. I had like 3 different piano teachers because I would just come home just like in shambles. I think it's just because they were like, no, you need to do it this way. And I was like, that's not okay. I'm great at everything all the time. So no, you're wrong and I'm right. I don't know. I have no idea.
Wow, that pattern
But
kind of
then I quit.
continues.
And then in middle
Did
school,
you
I
just
played
ignore me?
trumpet
Did you
for
just
like
ignore
2
me?
years.
You just ignored me and then completely moved
Yes.
on.
Yeah. Then I learned trumpet in middle school, and I played that for like 2 years. And then I wanted to be
But
on
we
the
still
drum
have
line
the
in high
trumpet in the
school. So then I
garage.
moved to the percussion. I know. I need
Yeah.
to like do like some sort of like deep clean and then like give that to like one of my nieces or nephews or something. Like I'm never gonna play that thing again.
Yeah.
Um,
I would like to see you
but
try.
then I started playing
That'd be
like
a fun podcast
percussion.
exercise.
I did like a couple years ago at Christmas.
Oh
I feel
yeah,
like.
I remember that.
I mean, like I kind of know what to do, but it's not pretty. It's just like it sounds like a 7th grade version of trumpet playing. And then I played percussion in high school, and I did drumline in high school. I did drumline in college, and I did 1 year of drum corps. All this was just like drumline percussion based. If I could, I would love to like have the ability to just play the piano, like sit down and just go. Like I wish I had that ability, but I don't.
Yeah.
Or like listen to a song and then like boop, 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 like know how to play it.
Yeah.
Like that would be a dream. But I cried at piano lessons, so I cannot do that
even
today.
I'm learning something new during this podcast.
A couple more. Who cooks and what's the signature dish?
Oh, I feel like I've answered this before. I cook, definitely. I love to cook a good
What's your signature dish?
Stir fry with whatever ingredients we have. I love, like, I just cut up vegetables. I put in some sauces. I get a lot of different, like, just sauces in the fridge and in the cupboard that I'm like, okay, put a little bit of this, put a little bit of that, put a little bit of this, put a little bit of that. Spices all mixed together. It's like if I'm putting Mexican, South American spices all in together, then it's going to be some kind of fajita stir fry. And if I'm putting soy sauce and
I
rice
just come home and I say, thank you so much for cooking.
Yeah.
And I eat it.
Love it.
Okay, next question. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh,
I can answer this for you.
Yeah, you can. Go ahead. You got it.
Matthew's biggest pet peeve is anybody chewing anything crunchy within 300 feet of him.
300 feet. Oh. Yeah. I think misophonia is actually genetic.
Yeah. No, because neither of your parents have it.
Right. I don't know. Maybe a grandparent had it. Maybe it skips generations. I just saw something come up on 23andMe. So, you know, it could be something.
Oh,
I don't know. Don't blame me. Blame my ancestors.
I think it's growing up as the youngest child or in a like low sibling environment where your life is quieter because my life was just always noisy. And so I learned to like block things out.
That's true. Michael growing up with 7 siblings. It's chaos.
Yeah. Even at work this week, somebody was having a conversation like right here. And I was like writing a note and they were like, sorry, you're probably like trying to concentrate. And I was like, I literally have no idea what you were saying. I completely like blocked you out.
Oh my God. When I worked for this nonprofit a long time ago and I was editing photos on my computer and the person who sat in the desk right across, like the desks would face each other and they would share like the fronts of the desks they would push together. And like I had my computer there. He had his computer on the other side of it. And every time he would like take a walk during lunch break and then he would come back with lunch and he would eat his entire crunchy, slurpy, disgusting lunch all right there in front of me. And it was like he chewed with his mouth open. So it was just like this for like 30 minutes straight every day. I wanted to die.
Yikes.
I couldn't do it.
If I'm in like a completely silent room and somebody is eating next to me, because this has happened before, and it is just like slurpy, slurpy, smacky, smacky, crunchy, crunchy. And there is a way that they could like minimize that. I'm like, I don't know if it's because I'm married to you and we've been together for like 9 years.
So I'm like rubbing
I
think a little bit.
Maybe I'm just noticing it more because I'm am constantly being told to like go somewhere else to chew my food. Or I'm like constantly aware that like the minute I bite into this apple, Matthew's gonna look at me with like the stare of death
Mhm.
and like ask me why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm
Like,
like,
why are you
because
even
I need
eating
to
the
eat food
apple? And
and I need sustenance. Like, why are you even eating? Like, why do you even eat? Why don't you just like drink water, breathe air?
yeah, seriously. I'm
But
proud
yeah,
of you.
it's that when it's so silent, then I'm like, and that's the
Yeah.
only thing I can hear, then I'm like, okay, no good, no good. What is my pet peeve?
Your pet peeve is mess. Any mess. Things, dirt
Yeah.
everywhere. Just things looking out of place. Even when things are really, really clean and super organized, they need to be cleaner and more organized to the way that you or your brain prefers it at that time and space.
I also sometimes like fall into the trap of like, I think we both do actually fall into the trap of like asking somebody to do something and then they like kind of do it, but they don't do it the way that you're expecting it.
Oh
And
yeah,
then you're like, why didn't you do it the way that I was expecting you to do it?
because we both get really busy and we get overwhelmed and we think I don't really have time to do this, but I need it to be done for my sanity, so I'm just going to ask this other person to do it and hope that they do it to exactly what I'm imagining in my mind. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. It's hard.
It doesn't work like that,
It doesn't work like that. We're
unfortunately.
learning.
But yeah, I think also like if I'm at work for like 3 days straight and then I come home and like you haven't scooped the litter box like once in 3 days, and I'm like, I have to come home from work and now I have to do that. That's my pet peeve. Because you
Mm,
scooped the litter box once for the cat that you wanted.
yeah. I will say like things like that when you do them consistently and it becomes a thing where I'm like, that's just one of the chores that Michael takes care of. And I think about it
Michael
less
takes the
and
garbage
less.
out. Michael feeds the dog. Michael feeds the cat. Michael scoops the litter box. Michael will
Oh,
sweep. Michael will
Michael
organize.
does not take
Michael
the
will make
garbage
the
out.
bed.
I take the garbage out all the time. I
You do.
cook.
You do.
I clean. I worship you.
Okay. Cinderella. One last question. This one's just going to be a little bit more like serious, I guess, or just like sincere, maybe. How do you deal with darker days?
Oh man. Okay, so I that's a tough question.
It's a tough question. I mean, I think it's because darker days are just like hard to get through.
Yeah.
Um, I think that, I mean, depending on how old you are and how much life you've lived, I try and reflect on the fact that like there are times in my life where I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? Like, how is this ever going to like resolve? But then in some way, shape, or form, it always does and it always has. So I kind of put faith in the in the fact that like this can't last forever, right? Like I'm 30 some years old right now. It's really stressful to go through surrogacy. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of energy. It's not going to last forever. We're going to get to the end of the tunnel at some point.
Right.
And just right now we're in it. And not saying that like we're feeling dark during this journey. I just think like sometimes you feel really overwhelmed. And it honestly just like takes time for you to like process and think and like give yourself time and space to do those things.
And I get
Um,
feel really
I
overwhelmed
think
just with
sleep
life
at
in general.
life in general, yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I like have to do mindset wise is when it's a super dark day, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta take this 1 hour at a time or 1 day at a time. And I have to try to do something that is at least going to get me out of my headspace or my negative headspace.
Yeah.
Um, on these darker days, it's very easy to fall into thinking errors. So, talking about it with somebody close to me, like Michael or my mom or a good friend who I trust and will understand me and not judge me, um, those types of things are helpful just to like reflect off of my own feelings and kind of get that off my chest. and then being able to try to identify thinking errors. Like, am I ignoring the good and focusing on these bad things? Am I projecting feelings into a reality that doesn't really exist? Am I extrapolating something or magnifying something that is not fun or a bad situation, and I'm magnifying it into something much bigger? It's very easy to fall into those, and that can make a bad day seem like your worst day. So I think for me, focusing on that's one big thing. And the other one is taking a walk. Just take a beat, take a breather, go for a walk.
A stupid mental health walk for my stupid mental health.
Exactly. That's like so big. And also, don't forget to eat and drink
Honestly,
water, sleep, breathe, all those things. They actually help.
I think,
Vitamins.
I think it's good to like reflect on how have you taken care of yourself recently? Like, have I been eating well? Have I been sleeping well? Have I been exercising? Have I been, like doing things that would just put my body in a good position? Because I feel completely different. Like before, like if I've gone for a long time, if we're like traveling, and I'm just like getting exhausted, like if I can just sleep and then go to the gym and like get back on like this routine, like my body, my mind, my everything just feels like completely different. And I'm not like a huge, like, I'm not somebody who goes to the gym like every day. I'm not like a big fitness Instagram person. It's just like the endorphins and the moving of your body and just like the physiology of all of that is so important, I think. And
It
just
really
completely
is.
puts me in a
Yeah,
whole new
that's huge.
headspace. Yeah. So that's what I do.
Love.
Okay, we did it. This was fun. I would love to do another Q&A
I
at
think we
some
need to do
point.
another
So if
Q&A.
you,
And we need more like surrogacy specific
yeah,
questions to answer too. Surrogacy, adoption, foster to adopt, all that, non-traditional passive parenthood. This one was kind of like
right. And
a potpourri
this is like
of questions.
a potpourri. Yeah. So I would say like, if you ever come up with a question, even not surrogacy related, blah, 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 send it to the who's your daddy pod at gmail.com. And then we will just like constantly keep a list of questions that we get, and we will compile them for a future episode. So please ask us all your burning questions, even if they're not surrogacy related, but specifically if they are surrogacy related, that would be awesome. Let me pull up a review, because last time I said that I would
Do a
read a
review.
review, and so I need to.
This is perfect timing too,
Okay.
because it's just now getting dark in New York City. So like the camera angle over here is just a mess, like the camera lighting situation, and we're in good timing. So go ahead, read that review.
Okay, here we go. Title, new favorite podcast. Oh, I absolutely love Who's Your Daddy's podcast. This show brings such a refreshing and unique perspective to the world of parenting and fatherhood. Matt and Michael are genuine and have insightful discussions, create an engaging atmosphere that keeps me coming back for more. Each episode is a delightful blend of humor, heartwarming stories, and practical things when starting a family as a gay couple. Whether you're a parent, about to become one, or just interested in hearing real life experiences and valuable tips, this podcast is an absolute must listen. Kudos to the host for delivering such an entertaining and informative show. We are also going through the same thing. We are a couple of months apart in our journey. Wow.
You write my
oh my God.
biography or something? Jeez.
That
is like.
So that is like, I didn't prepare first, and so I just opened the podcast app on my computer, and that was like the one at the beginning, and holy moly, that was like, that needs to be the bio of the podcast. We should have had this person write like, oh my God. Okay. Well, this episode wasn't entirely surrogacy focused, but I think it's always fun to just kind of like give you a little something else, you know?
Maybe an insight on like
there we
us
go.
In our lives.
Switch it up.
Who is talking to you on this podcast? A little bit about us.
Also, we've lived some life. Like, I think we get a lot of questions from people just about like LGBTQ things in general. So I always think that that's good to talk about. So yeah, well, What's next for you in New York?
So my friend
Mitch just got there.
just flew in. Yeah, I just got him an Uber or a Lyft. Hilarious. During this podcast while we were talking and trying to get stuff done, I'm like, or trying to answer questions, I'm like hurriedly trying to order him a Lyft car from Newark all the way to Manhattan and tell him what car to look out for, blah, blah, blah. He's rushing from baggage claim all the way up and trying to find it. Couldn't find the car. I'm like, it's behind the crosswalk. It's like, how do I know this? I'm all the way in Manhattan telling him how to get his Lyft in Newark. And then so now he's on his way over here. We're going to go get ramen once he gets here. And then we're going to go see Kim Petras in concert with my friend Kevin and Carl Nassib and his boyfriend. So, yeah. Do you ever have days where you're just like, what is life?
Wow.
Yeah. Just a New York life. New York
That's
minute.
wild. How are you going to Kim Petras with Carl Nassib? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's New York. Crazy things happen. Sometimes I'm just like, what? What is life? Why is this happening? How? Yeah, my friend Kevin called and he's like, hey, do you want to go? And I'm like,
I need photos.
Sure.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah,
That's
Kevin.
the connection. Kevin knows everyone. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Tell him hi.
I will. I'll give him a big hug for you.
Love him. Okay, perfect. Okay. I'm going to let you go because obviously you're very busy. So important. You're in New York, living your life, doing all the things. And I'm going to be here editing this podcast.
I love you so much.
Doing all the things. Love you too. Thank you everybody for listening. As always, if you can leave a rating or a gorgeous review like the one that we just read on Apple Podcasts, that would be amazing.
Even leave a question in the review if you want.
Oh yeah, you can leave a question in the reviews and I will do a better job of looking at those ahead of time. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And until next time, daddies out.